"Oh sweetheart, maybe piano just isn't your thing," my mother-in-law whispered loudly from the second row. My father-in-law chuckled and said, "She must get that from her side of the family." I felt every parent turn to stare as my daughter's hands began to shake on the keys. Then a chair scraped hard against the floor behind us. "My name is Danielle Brooks and I'm 34 years old. I work as a middle school administrative assistant. It's not glamorous. It's not powerful. It's steady work with ringing phones, messy paperwork, and the smell of printer ink in the air by noon. I've always been the quiet one in my husband's family. The sensitive one. The one they hint married up. My husband grew up with money. The kind that shows in country club photos and summer houses. I grew up in a small 2-bedroom home with thin walls and a mother who worked double shifts at a diner. We didn't have much, but we had warmth. His parents never say it outright, but I see it in their eyes. They think I trapped their son. They think I don't belong at their polished dining table. I'm not rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. My daughter Lily is 9. She's shy and soft-spoken with careful hands and a deep love for music. That recital was her first solo after months of practice in our living room. I know how fragile confidence can be because I've spent my whole life trying to rebuild mine after people chipped at it. If you've ever felt judged because you didn't grow up with money or status, I get it. I know what it's like to sit there quietly while people underestimate you. If that's you, subscribe and stay with me. Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt like you didn't belong. Click hype if you believe quiet strength still counts. Now let me tell you what happened that night. The school auditorium was packed. Parents held up phones. Programs rustled. The bright stage lights made Lily squint as she sat at the piano. She started strong. Her first notes were clear and steady. Then she missed one key. Just one. My mother-in-law let out a dramatic sigh. "Oh dear, this is painful," she muttered loud enough for 3 rows to hear. A few parents turned. My father-in-law leaned back and said, "We should have signed her up for something she's actually good at." My husband sat stiff beside me. He didn't say a word. Lily heard them. I saw it happen. Her shoulders tightened. Her hands trembled. The melody broke apart. She stopped mid-song. The silence felt heavy, like the air had been sucked out of the room. Then my in-laws began a slow, sarcastic clap. "It's okay, honey. Not everyone's gifted," my mother-in-law called out with a fake smile. I shot to my feet, heart pounding in my ears. Before I could speak, I heard that sharp scrape of a chair from the back of the auditorium. The principal, Dr. Harris, was standing. I thought it would end there. I was wrong. A few days later, my in-laws hosted a family dinner. We weren't invited. When my husband asked why, his mother said, "We didn't want Lily to feel bad after her little performance." That's how I found out. Through pictures online. Smiling faces. Fancy plates. No Lily. At Sunday brunch the next week, my mother-in-law said in front of everyone, "Some kids just aren't performers. It's better to accept reality early." She looked right at Lily when she said it. My daughter stared at her pancakes and said nothing. I felt something crack inside me. Then came the final push. My father-in-law pulled us aside. "We'll pay for better activities," he said. "Private tennis lessons. Art tutors. But she needs to quit piano. We don't want her embarrassing herself again." My husband hesitated. I could see the pull of money on him. I kept my voice calm. "She's not quitting." My father-in-law frowned. "You're being stubborn." Maybe I was. But inside I was done being quiet. What they didn't know was that I had built something of my own over the past 4 years. After Lily was born, during late nights when she wouldn't sleep, I started writing. A parenting blog. I wrote about raising sensitive children in families that value image over heart. At first only a few people read it. Then more. Then thousands. It grew quietly, steadily. It exploded before I even realized what was happening. I stayed anonymous. I never used our real names. Schools began inviting me to speak under a pen name about emotional safety and confidence in kids. I never told my in-laws. I didn't need their approval. I had a plan they never saw coming. And someone important at Lily's school already knew exactly who I was. Dr. Harris called me the morning after the recital. His voice was calm. "I saw what happened," he said. "Your daughter didn't fail. She showed courage." He told me he had attended one of my workshops the year before. He had recognized my voice when I spoke to Lily backstage. "I respect what you do," he said. Then he shared something else. Lily had been selected for a district-wide Young Musicians Spotlight for her dedication and improvement. He had planned to surprise her later. Now he wanted to make it bigger. He suggested a public acknowledgement at the upcoming school arts gala. Meanwhile, my in-laws grew more confident. They bragged about their donations to the school. "We support the arts," my father-in-law would say proudly. They believed their money protected them. They had no idea what was coming. The night of the gala, the auditorium smelled faintly of polished wood and fresh flowers. Parents and donors filled the seats. My in-laws sat proudly in the front row. Dr. Harris stepped to the podium. His voice was steady. He spoke about resilience, about how children are always listening even when adults forget. Then he called Lily's name. My heart pounded, but my face stayed calm. Lily walked to the stage, small but brave. Dr. Harris announced she had been selected for the Young Musicians Spotlight, not for perfection, but for dedication and heart. He mentioned how she practiced daily despite discouraging voices. The room went still. Then applause broke out. Real and loud. Dr. Harris looked straight at my in-laws. "We do not tolerate public shaming of our students," he said firmly. "Not from anyone." He added that respect was required at every school event, regardless of donation status. A ripple moved through the crowd as people connected the dots. My mother-in-law's smile vanished. Lily sat at the piano again. This time her fingers moved with confidence. Every note rang clear. I held my head high and met my in-law's eyes. I didn't look away. Afterward, Lily ran into my arms, glowing. "Mom, I did it," she whispered. My husband finally said, "I'm sorry I didn't speak up before." His voice was quiet but real. My in-laws stopped making comments after that. They were polite. Careful. I continued my blog, more certain than ever about why it mattered. I learned that strength doesn't have to be loud. It can be steady and firm. Sometimes the best response isn't shouting back. It's standing still while the truth speaks for you. And sometimes the greatest victory is watching your child shine so brightly that the mockery fades into nothing. If someone has ever embarrassed you or your child in public, you know how deep that pain goes. Share your story in the comments because I truly read them. No child deserves to feel small because of adult pride. Subscribe if you believe in protecting quiet kids. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Your story has power. If you felt connected to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else who feels alone. Thank you for being here and for listening.